to the ALCS, where the Astros swept the Yankees in 4 games. Jake, you got a burn for us?
Sure.
Burn, 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 burn. Burn it down.
The Houston Astros brought their brooms to the Bronx, going for the sweep in the ALCS. The Snapdragon, Lance McCullers Jr. versus Are You the One They Call Cortez? Nestor Cortez trying to hold up for the Pinstripers. In the first, Giancarlo RBI single, and then a little Glaber bomb. Another ribby single. It is 2-0. Yanks make it 3. Rizzo with the RBI double. These Yankees. But then, oh my God, look at the size of this kid's Pena. 3-run homer to tie it up from Jeremy. And then Yuli, watch a single go. RBI single, 4-3. The Yanks aren't dead, Trev. Rizzo again. Harry Bader into the seats. Jom called it. It's 5-4. The bullpen's got a hold. Oh boy. Yankees defense and Yordan Alvarez. And then the bad man, my salsa, Alex Bregman. We'll text him right now. That RBI single felt pretty good because it brought the Houston Astros to the World Series yet again as they sweep the Yanks. 6-5 final in the Bronx.
Great burn.
Yeah.
Great burn of a good memory, Jake.
Yeah.
Is that brought to us by anyone?
It's brought to us by MLB 9 Innings. The Yankees won't be playing any more 9-inning games in 2022.
Well, maybe they'll play this.
Yeah, so maybe they'll download I'll send out some links. Maybe I'll tweet it out, and the boys can be like, wow, does this have the best live player versus player mode I've seen in a game?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yes.
Could I do a wide variety of game modes? League mode? Yup. Maybe try to rebuild those Yanks. Maybe shuffle some positions or collect the 2,000 player cards that you can collect and use in your dream roster. They've got some legends in there. The Greg Maddux just dotting. Two-seamer at your hip, lefties. Randy Johnson, Mike Piazza. If you like baseball, you're listening to Talking Baseball, you watch your team play baseball, there's a good chance you're going to like MLB 9 Innings. Download it with the link in the description, and download it wherever you get your apps and stuff. MLB 9 Innings 22.
Good shit.
Good ships.
Astros in the World Series again against an NL East team again. Done the Nationals, done the Braves. Time to do the Phillies. I mean, this team is a playoff beast. It's crazy. Trev, something we've been talking about a lot. I don't think we've had the discussion with you, but I was talking to someone who was talking about, the Dodgers lost and the Braves lost and 5-game crapshoot. And then they said to me, Astros never lost a 5-game series. They've always been to the CS. I think they've lost the CS twice. They've won the CS 4 times out of the last 7 years. And this is a team that's built for the postseason. And a lot of other teams are built, like the Dodgers, like the Yankees, even the Rays, to survive the regular season and have depth and win games with multiple ways, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to the postseason, and against the best in a short series, there's ebbs and flows. There's no ebbs and flows for the Astros. They haven't lost a game yet. They're here every year. They don't strike out that much. They make contact, and when they do make contact, it has pop. And they can get the extra base hit. I mean, their 8-hole hitter, McCormick, is he hitting 8? I forget, but he has 2 home runs. He's got like a 1 OPS. And then their pitching is deep as shit with bullpen guys. So the Astros are impressive as it comes to me. To be able to do that, I know a dynasty, you got to win World Series, but I don't know if we'll get that again. This is crazy.
It's crazy what they do. I don't think those other organizations are far off. I don't think there's some massive separator other than experience and playing all together matters. The Dodgers have that. The Braves are getting that. This 5-game series against the Mariners, I know they swept it. but we know how close all those games were. They could have went either way. I think that's where like the experience comes into play. But they have some dogs, man. Some guys that just don't give a fuck. And I love watching them play. Alex Bregman, he got that back. He didn't have that for a while. He got that back. He's a dog. He's in the playoffs. He has a game-winning hit here. He's playing defense. And then Yordan. When you have those two guys, and Yuli, I'll put in that category as well. Those guys don't care about the situation, whatever. And it's like you can almost put all the pressure onto them and then let the other guys kind of do their thing. Like Jeremy Pena is playing carefree baseball right now because he knows he's got his big bros behind him, and I mean, you're right. They're set up for the postseason, but they're set up for any kind of baseball you want to play, bro. Like they wouldn't beat us in blitzball, forgotten rotten, but that's about it. They'll beat everybody else in anything because they can play defense. They have situational hitting. Altuve kind of like running the bases the way he does. Like I know the Yankees made a great play against him yesterday, but that's a heads up base running play. Like they just kind of have everything. And I think another thing that we don't talk about a lot with the Astros is Maldonado behind the plate and kind of how he handles the game and is able to throw and curtail the running. They're impressive. I mean, shit.
They're incredibly well run. They set out a bunch of years ago to be the best and be better at everyone wherever they could be. And, when you look at it now, I mean, you got 5 guys in the infield that are Gold Glove candidates. You got Kyle Tucker, Gold Glove guy. McCormick covers ground out there. Yordan Alvarez might not win the Gold Glove, but he might be the best hitter in the league. So they make that one swap. And the pitching up and down has been a factory now throughout it. This was Lance McCullers, like the most ever deciding games a player's ever started, or some fact that you're like, wait, isn't like Lance McCullers almost feels new to the pot. He's 29, like, going back to Verlander and Greinke, I mean, he's been a part of it. Like you think that guy cares about a moment or anything, making fizz faces before the pitches. Like these guys don't, like you said, Trev, they don't give a fuck, man. They're going to play their game and they're going to beat you because that's the formula that has worked for them the past 6 years.
They also just know
dominant.
the moment, like to take advantage of it. Like, okay, this is our time, lock in. Anytime the Yankees made a mistake, they made them pay immediately. And that's...
I wonder who...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that's just killer. I mean, it's like that killer instinct that good teams have of, oh, you just dropped that ball? Fuck that. Watch this. You guys just booted that? Yeah, we're turning that into runs. Take advantage of. T-A-O. Tau.
I wonder, like, where they get that, like, overwhelming sense of confidence. Like, I know it comes with going to the ALCS 6 straight years and knowing that you can get the job done when you need to. I guess that's probably the biggest factor in it. But there's got to be someone in the clubhouse that holds it all together too. Like, is it Altuve? Is it
be passed down at this point? Like they have so much postseason experience that Pena probably feels like it's not on my shoulders.
That's what I'm saying. But I think someone gave it to Bregman. Someone gave it to. I think it might be Altuve the whole way. Like he's just so consistent with the way he does things, and even when he's struggling in one facet of the game, he doesn't let it affect the other areas of his game. I think that's a great example to have. I know JV's in there, but I don't know how much he affects the position players. It seems like the position players are just absolutely locked in all the time. Maybe it's Gurriel, man. I don't think people give him enough credit either.
No.
Like the kind of baseball career he's had. Someone was tweeting at me the other day, like, go check out like how long this dude's been playing baseball. Like in Cuba, like he was playing in that league at like 17 or something like that. And it's just been a guy his whole life. And when they need an RBI, what does he do? Does he come out of his shoes? No, dude, he plays ball and freaking shoots one up the hole. Like they're so fun to watch because they can do all those things. They could get the walk-off homer by Yordan, or they can play small ball and they can move runners and run the bases the right way. It's awesome.
Yuli is underrated. He's been there the whole time. This is a guy that as of like 3-4 years ago, he played every infield position. And like he plays first base because they have Altuve, they had Correa, now they have Pena, and they have Bregman. Like that's why he plays first. If he was Cincinnati Reds Yuli Gurriel, he might have been their shortstop and then third baseman for a little bit. Like he's a stud. He's nasty. Dusty, I mean, talk about one of the best hires they could have done at the time. And hey, you're talking about kind of like leadership or where does it all come from? I think, the cheating allegations and going back to 2017, that probably galvanized them, man. When you're a group of guys and the crowd hates you every night and the other team, and we had passionate talks on here about some of the guys that got really screwed from that. Some of the pitchers that only had one appearance or guys who didn't get opportunities to play baseball because of what those guys were doing at that time. That's you. It either galvanizes you or you point fingers and rip apart, right? And there's none of that. These guys are it's business-like, and there's no fear. Like even when the Nationals took that Game 7 World Series, Howie Kendrick hits a pole, but they were there, no fear from them ever.
Yeah, it's got to be top down somewhere, but Trev's trying to ask who the top is, and I don't know. My Astros fans are going to tell us.
It's actually a great point you made there. So it's basically opposing fans who have helped make this team what they are. And I do believe that, dude, because if you are constantly under the microscope and you're getting booed all the time, you do have to find solace in your teammates, and you have to figure out a way to get through that. And little by little, man, it's just sharpening you. So those moments come and you have that resiliency.
How about Pena? I mean, he gets MVP. They didn't even offer Correa anything because they were like, nah, we're good. I mean, they did make an offer, but or whatever it was less than, because they felt very confident in Pena. And now he has a good year. He's a scary dude. He gets a 3-1 pitch from Nestor, absolutely clobbers it, ties the game up. It's crazy. And Altuve gets a couple hits at the end here in the last 2 games, I think. So he can go into the World Series a little more carefree. And you saw him smiling a little bit about that. And he got robbed twice, too, when it went to replay and didn't come his way. Or the second time it did come his way.
Yeah. Should we bury your Yanks a little, Trev?
I know there's some specific plays that we want to talk about. We just waxed poetically about those Houston Astros for about 10 minutes right there. The Yankees, I don't think we're going to be doing that. I think there's a lot of things that we need to talk about, or maybe this is for the offseason, but they got a lot of work to do. Yeah, Aaron Judge, I realized that after he made that last out. Not a Yankee anymore.
Free agent right now.
It's kind of a scary thing right there.
Yeah, I mean, that is what it is. You can't really do anything until you find out.
The time is here now, I guess.
Yeah. There's all these complaints from Yankee fans about the team. And then I feel like non-Yankee fans, just because, everyone hates the Yankees, and that's fine, feel like those complaints are why we lost the series, which isn't true. They lost the series because the offense went completely dead and because the Astros were the better team tenfold. That's why the series got lost. But why they just weren't ready, or the Yankees fans make our gripes because we feel like they could have put a better feet forward to getting to that place than running out all the different lineups, all the different shortstops, all the different positions, from riding Donaldson the entire season, just banking on he would come around, and he was a complete and utter anchor in the wrong way, in the middle of the lineup. But to talk about it in regards to this series, people always try to act like it's an excuse. It's not. The Astros were the better team, but yet we have our frustrations with just how they make their decisions, which is encompassing of the whole 170 games.
Your tweet encompassed a lot of it, and we've been talking about this for a long time on the show, just about how we need some consistency in the lineup. We need some consistency at shortstop. Let's make a decision instead of trying to ride a hot hand that's not. There's no hot hands. You're just trying to figure it out. And I think it was Curtis Granderson was talking about it pregame. He's like, yeah, we're just trying to find a spark there. And I'm like, dude, that's not the way you find a spark. you don't put people in there and like basically tell them, if you don't perform this game, like you're not going to play tomorrow. Like that's not how you get sparks out of guys, dude. How you get a spark out of a guy is like what Rob Thompson did in Philadelphia when he comes to the media and says, I'm not moving Schwarber or Hoskins. I'm not moving them because I believe in them. That's how you get a spark out of someone, dude. Not like saying, hey, you better perform or you're out tomorrow. Like, I don't believe in that whatsoever.
And yeah, it's nuts. They had no identity the whole way through. And it's tough. That's been my complaint since you joined Talkin Baseball, because I didn't have access to players and I was like, never had it confirmed. And I ask every player, like, hey, does consistency matter? Like, does waking up knowing where you're going to hit in the lineup and what position you're going to play make you a better player? And almost every single player is like, yeah, it's way more comfortable. It's way better to stay in the same headspace, to not have other things. And the Yankees just have never once believed in that at all. So it's crazy.
I don't
the
think
one
we
guy
found
they
the
did,
player
the
that
one
didn't
guy
at
they
least
were
prefer it.
Yeah.
They were consistent with Judge, and look what happened.
Judge got attacked by the pitchers. They went right at him. He looked bad. So some hittable pitches. His swing path looked a little different.
And that, this series was miles apart with also not being miles apart, but it's kind of the thing that was the gap is what we have been complaining about, that, and that's why it feels miles apart. Like that double play ball. I know Jimmy was texting with you, and we were checking out what the internet was thinking, and it's 60-40, and I'm still not sure what 60-40. I mean, I think IKF has to chop the steps a little bit, like you were talking about, and either way, you got to catch that ball. Glaber's flip, I don't think was a great one. I do think it was inside of the bag and firm and flat, like you also said. But if you had if you had instilled the trust in your middle infield, and we're now somewhat inside the Yankee walls, and guess what? If stuff gets to us, I bet it gets to the players, and they know what's up between which guy is liked by the analytics team and which guy isn't, and why you're out there on that day, and should we be out there on that day? And I don't know, Altuve and Pena knew they were going to be out there. Same with Bregman. Same with Yuli. Same with all the guys pretty much on that team, except one. They were flexing in the DH. Ooh, here's Trey Mancini. Let's try this. This is fun.
Baseball.
The Yankees, the part that I keep coming back to is you knew this team was going to be there. I barked on Talkin Baseball all early part of the year that these two teams are lining up. Like I believe in sports. I believe in chaos. I mean, look at the National League this year. But it seemed like everything was lining up for these two teams. And the Yankees knew that, and they got swept. You got swept by the team you knew was going to be there. So, there's a couple little things. There's one pitch to Bregman in that game. There's a swing by Judge that on a lot of other nights would have got out. There's a double play ball you could have finished. You got 0 wins.
I forgot to give my theory on the Judge balls.
Okay.
There was a wild theory going around that there was some juice balls during the season, and maybe they reversed that, and he was going with heavier balls. It's a dumb theory, but he did have 2 balls. I'm sorry, dude. It is a little strange there. Like there's all the measurements that you have, the exit velo and the launch angle, you can, put into StatCast and see how many balls were home runs and how many weren't. I mean,
well, the wind was crazy that one day. I mean, you could see it. They were showing them
last night. What about that one?
Cold, rainy night. I don't know.
Cold, rainy night. I don't know, man. It's tough for Judge. He did barrel those balls up and didn't get it. I do want to speak on the double play just briefly. I know we were talking about it. Because I've been thinking ever since you texted me, I've been kind of like really get into it and put myself in their position. Those two guys have rolled a lot of double plays together. That's your job as a second baseman and a shortstop. Let's roll as many as we can. We have to be comfortable, and I'm sure they are comfortable, man. Like when you play together, your double play partner, like you understand how they move and what their feeds are like and where they're going to feed it. That feed does have to go to the outside part of the base. kind of fluff is expecting it there. That's an easy double play. Give me a flip to the outside part of the base. We roll that thing, no problem. Now, you can say he didn't break his feet down enough, which is true. He was upright. You kind of have to get down there a little bit. But he is banking on a feed that he's probably got, 99% of the time from Glaber. Now, Glaber's feed doesn't look bad because it's on target and it's there's some pace to it and whatever. But when you do shovel like that, it's a little bit firmer. It was to the inside part of the base. And if your momentum's taking you to the outside part of the base, it's very hard to reverse course that quickly and catch that ball that's on the inner half. So I think the feed it wasn't so-so. It was a bad feed. It was a bad feed, but also the footwork for ICAF wasn't great.
Yeah.
So it's like both of them.
Just sloppy.
It was a bad play.
And if they make that
and maybe
play,
the fact that they hadn't been playing together every single day during the postseason had something to do with it. I don't know.
Yeah. And if they make that play, well, Glaber came up the system as a shortstop, played way more shortstop, and ICAF came up the system as a catcher, third baseman. So, if you go back to like minor league stuff, neither of these guys played that position. Whatever. They need to make the play. And even if they make the play, they're not guaranteed to win the game. If they win the game, they're not guaranteed to win another one. So it's an interesting play from just like a X's and O's, but doesn't mean anything in the scheme of the Yankees winning. The other two things before we wrap up, because I'm sure some fans want to hear our thoughts on it. Utterly embarrassing some of the stuff the Yankees did with the roof excuses and saying that in the media. It's like, Jesus, that was awful. And then having David Ortiz FaceTime the clubhouse to give a pump-up speech because
I thought that was fake.
Because he did it in 2004.
Would have been great if
and
it
showing
was.
And showing the Yankees, the Red Sox in 2004 as like inspiration is maybe the most pathetic thing they've ever done. Just
our guy Gabe had a good tweet summarizing the night saying, like, can't believe showing the team the Yankees losing didn't help.
It's almost wild. It's like, hey guys, it's baseball.
How did that get out into the media? Like, where they did this in the clubhouse? Boone just was like, hey, yeah, we pumped him up with this.
Excited.
Yeah. Fuck, man. It's almost like they were, it'd be very similar to being like, hey guys, anything can happen in a baseball game. Just check out this highlight reel. Last night, Astros beat us. It's crazy. I know the players weren't there and they're not fans of the Yankees, but still, it's like, what? Just kind of an embarrassing move by a franchise.
It's very, like, if you have to show your team or you think showing your team any highlights before a win or go home game is going to do anything, that's insane. These are grown men.
And what's David Ortiz going to say on FaceTime? When we were down 3-0, we just kept going and won the game. Oh, great.
Do you think anyone cares what Poppy has to say? No offense to Poppy. He's not on their team. He's not in the trenches with them. Yeah, he maybe had a speech for his World Series team that he was on and part of, but what does he have to do with the Yankees whatsoever?
It's crazy. It's not. But yeah, good job by the Astros. They take on the Phillies. Yankees get swept.
It's going to be a hell of a series, man.
I'm excited. We'll have a series preview coming out later in the week. And then Trev's flying out here for game 1. So that'll be fun. Do a little watch party on Friday. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Watch party.
We got shirts. Shop.johnboymedia.com. Subscribe, like, all that dumb stuff.
Jake sucks.
Do